So in this lab today, I'm going to go ahead and add the DHCP server role into my server. And after adding the role, we'll do a bit of configurations, the initial configuration that has to be done after installing the DHCP server role. So just like any other role that you add in Windows Server 2019, you can add the role from the server manager dashboard by just opening the server manager, and you can see that there's an option here to add roles and features. So that brings up our roles and feature wizard. Click on next and leave that as a default as the role based or feature based installation, and click on next. I only have one server available, so that's the server that I'm going to actually install the role on. If you had multiple servers, then the server manager will allow you to install it on any server across the network that it has access to. Then go ahead and click on next, and here is where you will select the role that you need to install. And for this role, it's called the DHCP server. That's what we're installing. And it tells you straight away what additional features will be required by the DHCP server. So you want to include these features, and you just click on add features. So now the DHCP server role has been selected along with the required features. Click on next. We don't need to add anything additional there. Click next. Click next again, and it gives you an option to restart the server automatically if required. Not all roles will actually require a server restart, but that option is there to say that if after installation of the role there is a restart that is required, you can choose this option that the server will automatically go into a restart as opposed to you doing a manual restart. So in a production environment, of course, you wouldn't want to check this off, because if that server is already performing a function in the network, and client machines depend on connection to the server, it means that if the server goes into a restart that is not scheduled, it will all clients or devices will lose connection to the server. So this is just a lab environment. You can actually choose to restart the computer if it requires a restart. Just pops up a warning there to that the server will restart automatically if required. So go ahead and click on install, and this will take about 2 minutes or so to go through the installation, and it'll show you the progress bar at the very top there as it goes along with the install. Okay, so now that our installation has been completed, it gives you a message there saying that the DHCP service has been installed and it requires some configuration. Now, many services that you install will require some sort of additional steps to complete the setup. So I'm going to go ahead and click and close on this. And now I can see that the DHCP server has been installed, because it's now registered on the left hand side here of on the server manager dashboard. If I click on the DHCP server, I can see this yellow warning here that the configuration is required for DHCP server on this server. So if I click on more, and there's a post installation wizard that I can click on, or to complete the DHCP server configuration. Now this is just like a 1 or 2 step process. If you click on that, it'll tell you exactly what configurations are needed. And here's a little bit of a description that it will do 2 things. One is to create 2 groups. One is the DHCP administrators, and the other is the DHCP users. So for you to start using this DHCP server or the DHCP services on this server, It will need to first configure these groups in the Active Directory. And the second is to authorize the DHCP server on the target computer if it's joined to a domain. Now, this computer is actually a domain controller, so it is a part of a domain. So it needs to authorize this DHCP server. And the authorization is basically that you're authorizing this server on the network to hand out or to respond to requests from clients. So go ahead and just click next and leave this option here as the username. So I'm just going to use the administrator account for as the user credentials, and click on commit, and it'll go ahead and create the security groups and authorize the server. And that's all that's really required as the post installation step. Click and close, and that brings you to the end of the post installation task. So now that I've installed the DHCP server, and I've done the initial or the post installation steps, I now need to go and access this DHCP server to make some configurations to configure our scope or pool of addresses and any other options that we need to hand out to clients whenever clients are requesting IP addresses from our server.